Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Rabia Tokeer and I am a teacher trainer and a facilitator at Rehan School Effort Campus, Islamabad. Today I am talking with Maya and asking some interesting question, a very strong topic. So my topic is building listening habits. So Maya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly, Rabia. That sounds like a really powerful topic. I'm ready, and
So
I'd love to
Maya,
hear
my
what kind of
first
questions
question
you'd
is
like.
what defines a lasting habit in?
That's a great, exact. So once you ask that question, you can really dive into what makes a habit stick, like the cues, rewards, and consistency behind it. And once you get their thoughts, you can share examples like a daily reading habit or a morning routine, so it stays really relatable.
So my second question is why do some habits stick for years while others fade within days or weeks?
Ooh, that's a really thought provoking one. I think after that, you can ask them to reflect on what conditions help a habit become automatic, like a strong emotional connection or a clear positive outcome. That way, they can start seeing how to build those lasting ones.
How do habits shapes or identify and influence long-term success?
Exactly. So after that, you can have them identify a habit they want to build and then ask what small daily actions they could take, just a few minutes a day, so they feel achievable. Then they can track progress and stay motivated.
How can understanding the psychology behind habits help in building better routines?
Absolutely. And that's such a powerful link to make. Once you explain how our brain forms habits, like through reward loops or the basal ganglia, you can show them how intentional routines help anchor those habits. Then they can apply that psychology to build consistent, positive routines in their own lives.
How does midst impact the ability to build and maintain lasting habits?
Ah, that's a really important angle. You can talk about how mental energy and stress can drain our willpower, making it harder to stick to habits. But by starting small and anchoring habits to daily routines, when your mental resources are fresher, they become easier to maintain.
How does midst impact the ability to build and maintain lasting habits?
That's a great question to dig into. You can explain how mental fatigue or stress really saps our self control, making it harder to stay consistent. But when we build habits in small, manageable steps, especially when they're tied to low stress moments, we conserve mental resources. That's how we sustain them long term.
How does midst impact the ability and maintain habits for in future?
Ah, that's a great follow up. You can explain that when our mental resources are low, we rely more on willpower, which isn't sustainable long term. But if we create habits when we have more mental energy, like in the morning or in a set routine, those habits become more automatic. So over time, they just carry us forward, even when life gets busy or overwhelming.
How can understanding the psychology behind habit help in building better routine?
Yeah, exactly. When we understand the psychology, like how cues trigger behavior or how rewards reinforce it, we can design routines that fit naturally into our daily lives. So instead of relying on pure motivation, we align with how our brains work, making those habits and routines stick.
So how can a person stay motivated when results from habits are not immediately visible?
That's such a key challenge, actually. You can talk about setting small, measurable milestones so they get little wins along the way. Also, having a support system or a way to celebrate even tiny progress can keep them going, so they stay connected to the bigger vision, even when the payoff is slow.
So what mental barriers prevent people from maintaining habit over time?
That's a really good point. You can bring up things like life disruptions, big changes, or unexpected stress, as well as losing sight of the why behind the habit. So, by having a flexible mindset and regularly revisiting their purpose, they can get back on track when motivation
How
dips.
can positive thinking in for okay. What are the key stages involved in building a new habit? How long does it actually take from a habit and why does it vary from person up to person. How long does it actually take up from a habit, and why does it is vary from person? How can small daily actions lead to significant long-term changes? What is the importance of starting small when building a new habit? So, what are the most effective stages for habits? What are the some practical way to make habit easier to follow? How can a person stay consistent even during difficult times? What role does setting clear goals play in habit formation? What is the relationship between self discipline and habit formation? Why it is difficult to break bad habits even when we know they are harmful? What step can be taken to replace bad habits with positive ones? What are the habits considered the foundation of success? Okay, which habit do you struggle to maintain and why? Okay, so how can self awareness improve habit building? How can teaching others about habits stranger to own habit building skills? Thank you so much, Maya. for giving me very nice questions. Take care. Allah Hafiz.